Hi everybody. So, in our last video, I trailed out into darkness, um, which is where I spend most of my life in the woods and in darkness. So, in this video, I'm doing a bunch of cleaning, and it's a bit of it. I mean, you can watch me sit here. I mean, because you can see the residue left by that tank sealant on the side of the skins. And as you first start to clean it, all you really do is just you do clean it, but you also, spread it around. So I'm going through with acetone on gloves and trying to clean this the best I can. Look at all that residue. Look at all that tank sealant. Look at those beautiful rivets. Yep, so in this video we're going through the inside of all of these, between these ribs, and slopping them up with the sealant. Make this thing leak proof. Now, one thing I've noticed is, I think there's, I'm gonna estimate. So you buy a quart of tank sealant, which I have said you don't actually get a full quart. You actually get like 3/4 of a quart. Is just about enough. Looks like it's going to be just about enough to do one tank. So I'm going to go ahead and order the second, only because I don't want to run out, God forbid. Anyway, so here we are, in between the ribs, inside of the tank, applying sealant to where the ribs and skin come together. So what I'm actually doing is the bottom half. So basically I've put the camera in, and what I'm doing is I'm doing the bottom half, the ribs, first, because it's just easier. So I'm very generous around the bottom. So where the front of the ribs are, the biggest, where the most bend is in the middle, that's where you're going to have the most gaps between the skin and the rib. Whenever I'm applying the sealant to put the ribs in, I'm always generous at the bottom, as I am here. Here I don't even bother trying. I mean, there's no rivets to cover up, right? The middle, 4 or 6 little flanges don't actually have rivets in them. So instead what I'm doing is just covering those, basically dousing them. And once I get up to where the skin either has just a very gentle, constant curve, then I will just do, oh great, nice camera work, idiot. At that point, all I'll do is just apply it between the actual seal where the flange and the skin come together, and not sop it all the way up, because at that point you don't need it. As you can see there, I'm generously applying it to the nose. It'll be easier after we're done, because this is the side with the stiffeners, and it'll be easier. You'll see much more once we flip this over and do the other side. But while we're here, at least you can notice the nice seal that we've got between the skin and the stiffeners. Okay, so now the skin has been flipped over. Now we're doing the top side. One thing to remember when doing the top side and going back and redoing the tank sealant is that you've got that J-channel opening. And that J-channel opening needs to stay clean, because the J-channel is going to go through. You don't want to have tank sealant there already push the, you know, because you won't get a good seal. I mean, you got to rivet that thing in place. And apparently I'd already gone and done part of the next rib and forgot to move the camera over. So yeah, look, I mean, look at the mess. I mean, there's just tank sealant residue everywhere. So yeah, I do go all up. I do go up along the entire seam, like I said. But once we get into a flat area, I don't just cover the entire surface. I then go back and put sealant on top of the machined head for the rivets as well. I mean, because trying to be clean with this stuff just doesn't happen. So, anyway, that's pretty much caught up to where I am now. The next step is going to be putting in the J channel, and then I think we do some interior stuff, and then we'll seal the whole thing up and water test it. So that'll be a couple of weekends from now, so see you soon.